Sophie Cunningham sank three crucial three-pointers in the final 2 minutes of play to lift the Indiana Fever past the Connecticut Sun, 85-75, securing the team's first three-game winning streak of the month. Despite letting an 11-point lead slip as the Sun briefly pulled ahead in the fourth quarter, Indiana rallied to close the game on a decisive 21-10 run. Caitlin Clark led the Fever with a team-high 25 points, including 5 three-pointers. However, her performance involved late-game officiating tension. She received a technical foul in the final seconds and a separate delay of game team technical after accidentally kicking a loose ball down the court, a call she later criticized as ridiculous. Alongside Clark's scoring, Kelsey Mitchell contributed 15 first-half points, and Aaliyah Boston achieved a major milestone by reaching 2,000 career points. The struggling Sun, dropping to a 2-13 record, were led by Olivia Nelson-Odota's 12 points off the bench. Fever head coach Stephanie White praised her squad's resilience, noting their ability to stay positive and lock in defensively during the critical closing minutes. The Indiana Fever will be without key bench player Sophie Cunningham for Thursday's game against the Chicago Sky due to a right elbow injury. Head coach Stephanie White explained that Cunningham's elbow has been sore for some time, and the team is prioritizing her long-term health by exercising extreme caution. This will be the first game Cunningham misses this season, following a 2025 campaign that was cut short by a season-ending MCL tear in her right knee. In contrast, star guard Caitlin Clark, previously listed as probable with a back issue, has been upgraded to available and is expected to play. The Fever are coming off a thrilling 78-76 victory over the Washington Mystics that pushed them above the .500 mark. In that game, Cunningham delivered the crucial inbound pass to Clark for a game-winning logo three-pointer. She later took to social media to firmly shut down fan speculation, confirming the dramatic final play was exactly what Coach White drew up. In her first 11 games this season, Cunningham is averaging 8.7 points in 22.9 minutes per game. She has made 3 starts for the injured Lexi Hull so far. 7-time NBA champion Robert Horry recently offered straightforward advice to Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark: protect yourself and fight back. Speaking at a World Cup event, the legend addressed the heavy criticism Clark faces for frequently complaining to referees about the aggressive physical treatment she receives on the court. Horry noted that the top players are naturally targeted by opponents. To survive, he urged her not to let anyone bully her. To illustrate his point, Horry drew a comparison to his former Los Angeles Lakers teammate, Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal. Although O'Neal was much larger, he also endured relentless physical battering until he finally decided to retaliate against the hard fouls. Clark has experienced numerous hard hits during her WNBA career, sparking debate over whether the rough treatment is intentional. Despite the physical toll and a tumultuous start to the current season, Clark continues to perform at a very high level. She recently hit a clutch game-winning shot against the Washington Mystics and is currently averaging impressive statistics, helping to keep the Indiana Fever above a .500 winning percentage.
Nobody has ever done this. Caitlin Clark put on another historic show, dropping 32 points and 10 assists as the Indiana Fever outlasted the Chicago Sky 114-106 in overtime. But here's the crazy part. This is already Clark's 3rd career game with at least 30 points and 10 assists. No other player in WNBA history has done it more than once. Legends like Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, and Skylar Diggins each have one, but Caitlin Clark already owns the record by herself. Basketball fans are witnessing greatness in real time.
Caitlin Clark delivered a highly efficient 25-point performance, including 5 three-pointers, leading the Indiana Fever to an 85-75 victory over the Sun. Despite the win, Clark found herself at odds with the referees, resulting in 2 separate technical fouls. The first occurred when she punched the air in frustration after a non-call on a drive to the basket, a penalty she admitted was deserved. However, she bluntly criticized the second call, a delay of game team technical for casually kicking a loose ball. Clark called the referee's decision ridiculous, arguing he unnecessarily inserted himself into the game. During the post-game press conference, Clark and coach Stephanie White were also asked about a viral sideline dispute from a previous loss. Both quickly dismissed rumors of team division. White strongly criticized the question, stating that reporters should focus on legitimate journalism rather than manufacturing news from social media speculation or bots. The Fever have overcome a slow start to the season and are currently enjoying a 3-game winning streak. With improved defense and consistent offensive rhythm from Clark, the team is looking forward to carrying their momentum into Tuesday's upcoming home game against Tempo.
Forgot about Sophie? Think again. With stars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston grabbing headlines, Sophie Cunningham was nearly invisible for 38 minutes. But then, everything changed. In a tight Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun battle, Cunningham exploded for 11 points in the final 2 minutes, drilling 3 clutch three-pointers and turning a nail-biting game into a double-digit Fever win. WNBA fans erupted on social media as Sophie Cunningham delivered one of the most clutch performances of the season, proving heroes can appear when you least expect them.
Indiana Fever stars Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston secured an unprecedented WNBA milestone on Thursday, becoming the first teammates in league history to each record a 30-point double-double in the same game. Their historic performance propelled Indiana to a dramatic 114-106 overtime victory against the Chicago Sky at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, elevating the Fever's record to 7-5. Boston achieved a career-high 34 points alongside 12 rebounds, while Clark contributed 32 points and 10 assists, shooting a perfect 15-for-15 from the free throw line. Together, they also propelled Indiana to a franchise record 114 points. The matchup was defined by severe momentum shifts. Indiana surrendered an early 19-point lead when Chicago erupted for 39 points in the third quarter, spearheaded by rookie Sydney Taylor's career-high 30 bench points. Sky guard Skylar Diggins later hit a dramatic buzzer-beating three-pointer to force overtime at 98-98. In the extra period, Indiana's star duo took complete control. Boston scored 8 of her points in overtime to help outscore Chicago 16-8, solidifying the win and keeping the Fever's strong Commissioner's Cup push alive.
Clark escapes ejection drama. Caitlin Clark was unstoppable, dropping 25 points and leading the Indiana Fever to an 85-75 win over the Connecticut Sun. But the real drama came late. After a heated technical foul with just 22 seconds left, Clark was hit with her 4th tech of the WNBA season, triggering a $1,000 fine. She nearly got ejected too, but officials changed an earlier technical to a team delay. Fever fans are celebrating the win, but Clark is now just 4 technicals away from an automatic suspension.
The Indiana Fever will be missing a key piece of their rotation for Thursday's home game against the Chicago Sky. Guard Sophie Cunningham has been officially ruled out due to a right elbow injury, marking her first absence of the 2026 season. Head coach Stephanie White and the team are being cautious with her recovery, especially since Cunningham's 2025 season was cut short by a severe MCL tear. Through 11 games, the Fever hold a 6-5 record. Cunningham has been an important contributor off the bench and in spot starts, averaging 8.7 points in 22.9 minutes per game. Her highlights this season include a 17-point performance against the Seattle Storm and delivering the crucial inbound pass for Caitlin Clark's recent game winner against the Washington Mystics. With Cunningham sidelined, Indiana faces the 4-8 Chicago Sky at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The Fever will rely more heavily on the core trio of Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell to supply the necessary offensive firepower and maintain their winning momentum. Caitlin Clark led the Indiana Fever to an 85-75 victory over the Connecticut Sun, putting up 25 points with 5 three-pointers, alongside 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and a block. Kelsey Mitchell added 19 points, while Aaliyah Boston anchored the inside with a 13-point, 11-rebound double-double, and Sophie Cunningham chipped in 11 points off the bench. Despite the stellar performance, late-game controversies stole the headlines. With 2:30 remaining, Clark attempted to retrieve a loose ball by kicking it into her hands, but it bounced out of bounds off the scorer's table instead. Referee Tyler Merkovich initially assessed a personal technical foul to Clark, which officials later adjusted to a team delay of game violation. Had the original ruling stood, a subsequent technical foul called on Clark in the final seconds would have triggered an automatic ejection. Post-game, Clark openly criticized Merkovich's officiating, calling the delay of game decision ridiculous, and accusing him of trying to assert himself into the matchup unnecessarily. While the league may issue discipline for her public comments, the Fever star firmly made it clear she will not stay silent regarding questionable refereeing.
Sophie Cunningham broke the internet. Just one day after helping the Indiana Fever secure a huge Commissioner's Cup win, Sophie Cunningham dropped a new Adidas photo shoot, and WNBA fans instantly flooded social media. The Fever star showed off her confidence, athleticism, and superstar presence in a viral gym-themed campaign. But then came the reaction. Fans couldn't stop talking about how Sophie Cunningham continues to dominate headlines, proving she's become one of the biggest stars in women's basketball, both on and off the court.
The Indiana Fever defeated the Chicago Sky 114-106 in a thrilling Thursday night overtime matchup, securing their first winning streak since May. This hard-fought victory also marks Indiana's 7th consecutive regular season win against Chicago. The game featured a groundbreaking, historic performance from the Fever's star duo. Aaliyah Boston dominated the paint with 34 points and 12 rebounds. Meanwhile, rookie sensation Caitlin Clark contributed an impressive 32 points and 10 assists. Together, Boston and Clark became the first teammates in WNBA history to record 30-point double-doubles in the exact same game. The intense contest saw notable friction with the officiating crew. Clark intentionally provoked her third technical foul of the season to reach the free throw line more, successfully shooting a flawless 15 of 15. Moments later, head coach Stephanie White received a technical she criticized as soft. Despite the loss dropping their record to 4-8, the struggling Sky showed serious resilience. Rookie guard Sydney Taylor delivered a massive 30 points off the bench, and Skylar Diggins added 21, but Chicago ultimately lost their 8th game out of their last 9 games overall. WNBA rising stars Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese currently share the league lead with 4 technical fouls each this season. Known for their fierce and fiery competitive personalities, reminiscent of WNBA greats like Diana Taurasi, both players heavily draw fans and drive their team's success. However, their aggressive play style is approaching a costly limit. The WNBA imposes a $1,000 fine for every technical foul after a player's 3rd and 8th calls. More critically, an automatic 1-game suspension is triggered upon receiving an 8th technical foul. Since Clark and Reese are already halfway to this threshold, maintaining their current pace would result in suspensions barely halfway through the season. This trouble is not new for either athlete. Clark accumulated 6 technicals in her 2024 rookie season, while Reese served a 1-game suspension in 2025 after racking up 8 technical fouls. To avoid hurting their respective organizations, disappointing fans, and missing crucial opportunities to compete on the court, both stars must immediately curb their in-game complaining and alter this costly trajectory before a disruptive suspension becomes inevitable.
The truth behind Caitlin Clark. Watch Caitlin Clark for just 10 minutes and you'll see it. The passion, the trash talk, the fire. The Indiana Fever superstar says her competitive edge is what makes her great, but admits it's not always pretty. As WNBA fans debate her body language and emotional reactions, Clark revealed she's working to channel that intensity in a more positive way. The biggest takeaway? Greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about growing while staying fearless. That's why Caitlin Clark remains one of basketball's most fascinating stars.
Indiana Fever guard Lexi Hull captured social media attention with her pre-game tunnel fashion ahead of Thursday's overtime victory against the Chicago Sky. Stepping into a spotlight typically occupied by teammate Sophie Cunningham, Hull turned heads in a chic Lioness Olympia blazer dress paired with LeSpecs aviator sunglasses, a matching clutch, and high heels, drawing enthusiastic praise from fans online. On the court, Hull contributed heavily to the crucial win by pulling down an impressive 7 offensive rebounds, compensating for a tough shooting night. However, teammate Caitlin Clark stole the headlines by securing her 3rd career 30-point double-double, finishing with 32 points and a flawless 15-4-15 mark from the free throw line. The high-stakes atmosphere saw tensions boil over late, resulting in technical fouls for both Clark and head coach Stephanie White. Clark praised her coach's intensity, noting that White's fire motivated the roster to rally together. The victory keeps Indiana 3rd in the Eastern Conference as they prepare for Saturday's matchup against the Connecticut Sun. Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham jokingly admitted on Instagram that she completely ignored head coach Stephanie White's play design during a dramatic 78-76 victory over the Washington Mystics. In the game's final moments, Cunningham acted as the inbounder and delivered a perfect assist to star Caitlin Clark, who immediately sank a thrilling game-winning 3-pointer. Fans initially speculated the play was not drawn up for Clark to take the final shot. Cunningham seemingly confirmed this by posting a cartoon of herself shrugging at Coach White with the caption, "Didn't follow the plan. Won anyway." Clark playfully replied, "Love you, sophomore." Teammate Lexi Hull later confirmed in a radio interview that the Fever had originally intended to just draw a foul on the critical play. However, Clark made a spontaneous read, and Cunningham found her for the clutch shot, improving the team's record to 6-5. Despite the late-game improvisation, Coach White highly praised her players, specifically highlighting Clark's incredible ability. Calling her a generational talent, White emphasized that Clark continually thrives under pressure, regularly hits huge clutch shots, and wins basketball games consistently.
Sophie's biggest challenge yet. Sophie Cunningham has quickly become a fan favorite in Indiana, but a new challenge is starting to follow her. Known for her toughness, energy, and elite shooting ability, Sophie has all the tools to impact games in a major way. The question now is whether she can become more than just a supporting piece and take on a bigger offensive role when the Fever need a spark. With expectations rising around Caitlin Clark and Indiana's playoff ambitions, all eyes are on Sophie Cunningham. Can she unlock another level and become the difference-maker Fever fans are waiting for?
Angel Reese just got a wake-up call she won't forget. 5 games in 5. And she's already telling the world her team is number 1. Bold move. But tonight, that bold move backfired in the worst way possible. Natasha Howard, a player the Indiana Fever literally didn't want, walked onto that court and made Angel Reese look like a rookie. Not a star. A rookie. That's the thing about talking big in this league. These women are professionals. You run your mouth to the media, you paint a target on yourself. And veterans? They don't miss targets. Howard took it personally. You could see it. Every possession, every matchup, she was locked in. And by the end of the night, the message was crystal clear. There are levels to this game. And tonight, Angel Reese just found out which level she's actually on.
Angel Reese got cooked by Natasha Howard. I tried to tell her to calm down. You want to be all on stage? Yeah, we the number 1 team in the league. Number 1 team in the league. It been 5 games, Angel. Like, calm down. I know you're used to being like 1-4, 0-5 at this point, so you are excited. And y'all been playing good ball, but calm down. This whole we the number 1 team in the league.
Look at the tape. It is right there, plain as day. The Minnesota Lynx did not just win this basketball game. They completely dismantled the Atlanta Dream 96-81. And the biggest reason for the blowout was that Angel Reese had an absolute stinker of a night. She shot a miserable 37.5% from the field. Think about that. You are a post player standing feet from the basket, and you cannot even clear 40% efficiency. This isn't a one-time issue either. This is her 3rd year in the league, and the offensive struggles are actually getting worse. She is a massive liability on that end of the floor, and the veteran players in this league are starting to realize they can completely ignore her when she has the ball.
She got absolutely cooked by Natasha Howard. There's points and times in these games, and we just got to be real. Even the game where the Dream was down and they came back, and I think they barely lost or something. They were better with her on the bench. I'm being honest, and I'm not saying they are better without her, but there are long stretches in games where they look like a better basketball team when she's on the bench.
Here is the hard truth that nobody in Atlanta wants to admit, but we are going to say it right here. The Atlanta Dream actually look like a much better basketball team when Angel Reese is sitting on the bench. Let that sink in for a second. Your high-profile star, the player getting all the headlines and marketing, is actively hurting the team's flow.
Time is ticking. A jump ball call
today. Damn! When jealousy meets envy, you get what you saw last night. Caitlin Clark being shunned out of the game, iced out of the game, ignored, teammates refusing to.
The last moments of the game are ticking away. The ball is flying everywhere, except the one place the internet is begging for it to go. And somehow, Caitlin Clark is standing there like she accidentally got added to the wrong playbook. 1 second left, chaos everywhere, and still no pass. At this point, fans aren't watching basketball anymore. They're watching a mystery thriller with sneakers. Because when the final possession looks like this, the real question isn't who wins, it's who is actually calling the shots.
Put Caitlin Clark on the bench and sub her in with 4 minutes left in the quarter. What kind of momentum can a person possibly get? But they're not going to pass her the ball. They're not going to give her the minutes. It's the same crap. We knew that would happen.
A couple of years ago, one of the excuses that we were given as to why Caitlin Clark was left out of the Olympics, they insinuated that the Olympics were being reserved for veteran WNBA players who had more.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think. A game that ends with a 40-point cushion is usually supposed to be the kind of night where everyone packs up early, smiles at the box score, and moves on as if nothing happened. But somehow, this one refused to behave that way.
Last night in my reaction video to the USA basketball victory, Of course, a total and complete mess from the perspective of wanting to watch Caitlin Clark go out there and do what Caitlin Clark does, which is 17-12 in her first game back in 239 days. But nah, of course, we saw that agenda at work right in front of our faces yesterday.
Even while Team USA was casually stacking up a dominant win, the actual rhythm on the floor kept sending out signals that something underneath the surface was not as smooth as the scoreboard suggested.
8 last night, 3 of 12 shooting, 5 turnovers.
Caitlin Clark owns this rivalry. Caitlin Clark was doubted, criticized, and questioned all week, but superstars always answer on the court. With the Indiana Fever desperate for a bounce-back win, Clark took control from the opening tip, dazzling fans with deep shots, elite playmaking, and non-stop energy. She finished with 17 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, leading the Fever to a convincing 83-71 victory over Angel Reese and the Dream. While Reese recorded a double-double, the spotlight belonged to Clark once again. The win pushes Caitlin Clark to an incredible 5-1 record against Reese in the WNBA, and fans flooded social media with one message: when the lights are brightest, Caitlin Clark delivers. Suspended over a meme? Everyone thought Sophie Cunningham got suspended after sharing a viral Caitlin Clark meme, but that's not what happened. The Indiana Fever wing shut down the rumors on her podcast, revealing she missed the Chicago Sky game because of an elbow injury, not a suspension. Then came the big reveal. That iconic Caitlin Clark game winner against the Mystics was actually the play coach Stephanie White called. Cunningham explained the defense made a mistake, Clark got wide open, and boom, another clutch Caitlin Clark moment. Fever fans can finally put the conspiracy theories to rest. Did Caitlin Clark just snub her teammate? After the Indiana Fever's heartbreaking loss to the New York Liberty, a viral Caitlin Clark video exploded across WNBA social media. Cameras appeared to catch Clark walking past a teammate's high-five attempt during a late timeout. The clip quickly racked up millions of views, and fans immediately split into two camps, some calling it a bad look, while others say it's being blown way out of proportion. The debate is now dominating WNBA and Caitlin Clark conversations online.
A routine Indiana Fever press conference sparked intense social media debate after a viral clip showed Caitlin Clark's unfiltered facial reaction to head coach Stephanie White. The moment occurred when White appeared to cough, prompting Clark to make an immediate, expressive face that WNBA fans quickly turned into a comedic and analytical talking point. The clip, shared by Yahoo Sports on X with a lighthearted caption about how Clark looks at her coach, rapidly evolved into a full-scale body language debate. While Clark and White have previously pushed back against outside claims of tension, reiterating that their competitive interactions are heavily overanalyzed, fans on social media weaponized the clip as fresh evidence. Commenters split into two camps. Some jumped to serious relationship speculation, claiming the body language proved their professional relationship was over. Others leaned into juvenile humor, joking that White coughed to cover up a fart or that Clark looked like she smelled something. Ultimately, while the exchange proved nothing substantial about their dynamic, it highlighted how even the most mundane, harmless reactions from the Fever star are instantly scrutinized by the public.
Sophie Cunningham couldn't take it. With the Indiana Fever's lead slipping away against the Washington Mystics, the pressure was sky high. Then Caitlin Clark got free on the inbound pass and launched a deep logo three with just seconds left. Bang! Clark buried her first ever WNBA game winner, sending Fever fans into a frenzy. And Sophie Cunningham's reaction? She posted, "Stressin' me out," as she celebrated the biggest clutch shot of Indiana's season. Sophie Cunningham picked her Knicks hero. As the New York Knicks move within 2 wins of an NBA title, Indiana Fever star Sophie Cunningham revealed the one player she loves most, Josh Hart. While Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges grab headlines, Cunningham says Hart's no ego, do-anything mentality fuels New York's finals run. After frustrating Victor Wembanyama and stuffing the stat sheet all playoffs, Hart is proving why Knicks fans believe this championship dream is real. This shot changes everything. Caitlin Clark just delivered the moment Indiana Fever fans have been waiting for. After weeks of pressure, criticism, and inconsistency, the WNBA superstar drilled a cold-blooded game-winning three against the Washington Mystics. Fever coach Stephanie White says this clutch bucket could be the confidence boost Clark needed to feel like herself again. And if Caitlin Clark is back, watch out. The Indiana Fever may have just found the spark that changes their entire season. Fever fans didn't see this coming. Just one day before the highly anticipated Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky showdown, fans were stunned when Sophie Cunningham suddenly appeared on the injury report with a right elbow injury. While Caitlin Clark remains probable despite back soreness, Cunningham's unexpected status sent concern across Fever Nation. The veteran sharpshooter has been a key piece alongside Clark all season, and now fans are anxiously waiting to see if she'll suit up for one of the biggest WNBA matchups of the week.
The Indiana Fever may have lost to the Golden State Valkyries, but somehow the biggest story coming out of this game wasn't the final score. It wasn't the missed shots. It wasn't even the coaching controversy that has fans exploding online right now. The biggest story was Caitlin Clark. Because while the Fever struggled, Clark quietly added another historic chapter to her career and shattered milestone after milestone, reminding the entire basketball world why she's still the most important player in the WNBA. And that's exactly why so many fans are asking a very uncomfortable question today. If Caitlin Clark is breaking records at a historic pace, why does it feel like the Indiana Fever are making life harder for her instead of easier? If you're a true Caitlin Clark fan and you're tired of watching her break records while the Fever continue making the same mistakes, type "Fire Stephanie White 100% in the comments right now.
Caitlin Clark, second fastest player in the WNBA or NBA to reach 1,000 points, 500 assists. Caitlin Clark becomes the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 500 career assists.
Caitlin Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to record 1,000 points and 500 assists. Number 2, Sue Bird at 82 games.
Let's start with the history that was made. Against the Valkyries, Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 1,000 career points and 500 career assists. Think about that for a second. Not one of the fastest. The fastest. She reached the milestone in just 59 games. The previous benchmark belonged to legendary point guard Sue Bird, who needed 82 games. Clark didn't just break the record, she obliterated it. We're talking about a player who reached the same achievement 23 games faster than one of the greatest floor generals the sport has ever seen. That alone would have been enough to dominate headlines. But it didn't stop there. She also became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 500 career assists. Another record, another milestone, another reminder that Clark continues to rewrite the record books almost every time she steps on the floor.
This was an embarrassing performance from Stephanie White and her entire staff. She put Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in an awful, awful position.
If Caitlin Clark does not take over a game, they lose.
We got Veronica Burton at the top of the key with the ball in her hands. We have Kelsey Mitchell defending her. Monique Billings is defending the screener.
Monique Billings is a
Clark and Sophie saved the day. Down by 1 with just 1.2 seconds left, the Indiana Fever put the game in the hands of their dynamic duo, Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. As Washington's defense took a risky gamble, Cunningham delivered the perfect inbound pass, finding Clark wide open on the wing. Without hesitation, Clark launched a deep three and buried it at the buzzer, sending Fever fans into absolute chaos. But the story didn't end there. After the game, Sophie celebrated the win on Instagram, and Clark's heartfelt "Love You, Soph" response showed the special bond behind Indiana's biggest clutch moment. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are becoming one of the WNBA's most exciting duos, and fans can't get enough. The Michael Jordan of WNBA? Hall of Fame legend Nancy Lieberman just made a jaw-dropping comparison, calling Caitlin Clark a generational player alongside Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. The Indiana Fever superstar brought millions of fans from college basketball into the WNBA, helping boost viewership, media coverage, and league popularity. Lieberman even says the WNBA's massive $2.2 billion CBA doesn't happen without Clark's impact. And her final verdict? Just like Jordan, opponents get extra motivated whenever Caitlin Clark steps on the court, proof that she's already changing basketball history. Still Caitlin Clark, still her. After weeks of missed shots and questions about her form, Caitlin Clark stepped into the biggest moment of the game for the Indiana Fever. With seconds left against the Washington Mystics, the WNBA superstar calmly let the defender fly by, pulled up from deep beyond the three-point line, and buried a clutch game winner. The crowd erupted, social media exploded, and one thing became crystal clear. Caitlin Clark's confidence never left. This iconic buzzer beater could be the shot that changes the Fever's entire 2026 WNBA season.
Angel Reese looked directly into that microphone and told the world that the Atlanta Dream were the best team in the WNBA right now. Not one of the best, not a contender. The best. She said it the way someone says something when they have already rehearsed the answer in their head. She said it the way someone says something when they genuinely believe the evidence is lining up behind them. The record is there. The early season wins are real. The energy around the team is real. And she is standing right in the middle of all of it, absorbing the moment, talking like she is the engine driving the whole operation. The problem is what happened next.
Reese got absolutely cooked by an Indiana Fever reject in Natasha Howard tonight. This was embarrassing. She stirred the pot on Angel Reese. Angel Reese stunk it up offensively.
The Minnesota Lynx did not send a press release. They did not post a long Twitter thread. They did not hold a media availability to respond to what Angel Reese said. They just showed up to the game on May 27th, 2026, and answered the best team in the league declaration the only way that actually matters. They answered it on the scoreboard. Final score, Lynx 96, Dream 81. A 15-point blowout. A game that was not close in the fourth quarter and was not trending toward being close. A game that looked exactly like what happens when one team is operating with genuine conviction and another team is still trying to figure out who they actually are without the press conference energy carrying them.
The Atlanta Dream was the #1 team in the W for 24 hours after getting a weak asses beat by 15 points by the Minnesota Lynx. Fucking bricklayer, 37%, 3 for 8, -16 plus minus. Back to 4th place, y'all go. Atlanta Dream. Look who's above y'all, the Fever now. Weak ass goofies. That's why you don't have Angel Reese's stupid ass talking for you, trying to be y'all leader, because it makes y'all look stupid.
The Dream did not just lose, they got handled. There is a difference between losing a competitive game where both teams traded punches and the better team won at the end, and getting handed a result that tells a different story than the one you were selling 3 days earlier. This was the second kind.
That look on your face when you're getting cooked by a 34-year-old all night long. Ouchie. Natasha Howard.
Caitlin Clark's NBA Finals wish. Caitlin Clark just revealed the one thing she desperately wants from the NBA Finals, and it's not a Knicks championship. While in New York with the Indiana Fever, Clark admitted she's obsessed with great basketball and hopes the Knicks vs. Spurs series goes all the way to 7 games. She even joked about joining wild Knicks fans outside Madison Square Garden as Knicks mania takes over the city. The biggest twist? Clark says she's studying stars like Jalen Brunson and Victor Wembanyama, comparing the pressure on Wemby's rise to superstardom with her own WNBA journey. Now, fans are reacting after Clark's surprising NBA Finals prediction went viral.
The Connecticut Sun are looking to break a 4-game losing streak as they host Caitlin Clark and the surging Indiana Fever on Saturday, June 13th, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time at Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. Fans can watch the game exclusively via live stream on Peacock, as it will not be broadcast on national television. The Sun enter this matchup seeking redemption after a tough overtime loss to Toronto. Despite the defeat, Connecticut saw strong performances from Aaliyah Edwards, who efficiently scored 24 points on 8 of 9 shooting, and Layla Lacken, who contributed 24 points and 7 assists. On the other side, the Indiana Fever bring momentum into the game, having won 3 of their last 4 contests. They recently secured a thrilling 114-106 overtime victory against the Chicago Sky. In that game, Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston made WNBA history by becoming the first teammates to ever record 30-point double-doubles in the same game. Clark posted 32 points and 10 assists, while Boston dominated with 34 points and 12 rebounds. The biggest question heading into tonight is whether Connecticut's defense can successfully slow down Indiana's highly electric team offense.
Suspended, or actually injured. Sophie Cunningham is suddenly out with a right elbow injury, but WNBA fans aren't buying it. After helping set up Caitlin Clark's game-winning 3 and becoming the center of viral play call rumors, Cunningham was ruled out against the Chicago Sky, sparking massive speculation across social media. Fans accused the Indiana Fever of handing out punishment, questioned Stephanie White's decision, and flooded X with conspiracy theories. While the Fever insist it's an injury, the online reaction has turned this Sophie Cunningham controversy into one of the biggest WNBA stories trending right now. Caitlin Clark's GOAT message shocked everyone. Just days after her clutch game winner, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever welcomed music legend Kid Cudi to practice. The Grammy-winning star got jerseys signed by the team, but then Clark delivered the ultimate surprise, handing him her signed jersey with a message calling him the GOAT. Kid Cudi instantly went viral, posting, "Framing this ASAP," as Fever fans loved the unforgettable Caitlin Clark moment.
Brittany Griner is officially set to return to action for the Connecticut Sun as they prepare to face Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever this Saturday. Griner, the 35-year-old All-Star center, has been sidelined since June 5 due to a lingering rib injury, which caused her to miss recent matchups against the New York Liberty and Toronto Tempo. Throughout this WNBA season, various injuries have limited her to just 6 appearances out of the Sun's 14 games, including a previous multi-game absence caused by a left foot injury. Griner's removal from the team's latest injury report marks a massive boost for Connecticut. The Sun are currently struggling at the absolute bottom of the league standings with a disappointing 2-12 record after dropping 4 consecutive games. Her veteran presence will be vital in countering Indiana's standout star big, Aaliyah Boston, who enters the matchup fresh off a dominant 34-point, 12-rebound performance. Griner is currently averaging 12.8 points, 5.2 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 1.5 blocks per game this season, offering crucial multi-category production. The squad will rely heavily on her leadership here.
Sophie Cunningham's injury scare. Indiana Fever fans are holding their breath after a major Sophie Cunningham injury update. The veteran guard has officially been ruled out with a right elbow injury after appearing in every game this season. Cunningham has become a crucial piece of Indiana's rotation, delivering energy, scoring, and clutch plays when the team needed them most. After battling back from a torn MCL last year, another injury setback now has WNBA fans flooding social media with concern and support.
Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston made WNBA history on Thursday, leading the Indiana Fever to a thrilling 114-106 overtime victory against the Chicago Sky. In a wild game marked by blown leads and clutch plays, the Fever's young superstars delivered their most dominant synchronized performance yet. Clark put up a stellar stat line with 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists over 40 minutes of play. Meanwhile, Boston dominated inside, powering her way to a career-high 34 points and grabbing 12 rebounds, including 7 on the offensive glass. With these performances, they became the first teammates in WNBA history to record 30-point double-doubles in the same game. The historic milestone comes as a major relief for Fever fans who have waited for both stars to click simultaneously. Boston's early season was hampered by injury, while Clark was recovering from lingering 2025 injuries. Now finding their rhythm, the duo has pushed Indiana to a 7-5 record. The Fever will look to build on this momentum on Saturday night when they travel to face the Connecticut Sun.
Sophie Cunningham noticed this? Las Vegas Raiders rookie Fernando Mendoza is having the dream year. Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, #1 overall NFL draft pick, and now a Cal Haas graduate. But the biggest surprise? Indiana Fever star Sophie Cunningham liked a post celebrating his graduation, sending NFL and WNBA fans into a frenzy. As Mendoza prepares to battle for the Raiders' starting quarterback job, this viral moment is adding even more buzz to one of football's fastest rising stars. What do you think? Future NFL superstar or too much hype? Another Caitlin Clark record falls. Caitlin Clark is rewriting the WNBA record books again. Against Angel Reese and the Atlanta Dream, Clark posted 17 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, while becoming the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 150 points and 50 assists in a season. The craziest part? The record she tied was her own from last year. Every game, Clark keeps setting a new standard for greatness, leading the Indiana Fever to another big win, and proving why she's one of the most impactful players the league has ever seen. WNBA fans are watching history unfold in real time. Fever fans got good news. After missing her first Indiana Fever game of the season with an elbow injury, Sophie Cunningham had fans worried about a long-term absence. But the latest injury update changed everything. Cunningham has already been upgraded to probable for the Connecticut Sun game and even announced a special fan meet and greet in Indiana. Fever Nation can finally relax because Sophie looks ready to make headlines both on and off the court. She needed just 30 seconds. Caitlin Clark sent a message before most fans even found their seats. After the Connecticut Sun grabbed an early 4-0 lead, the Indiana Fever superstar exploded with a deep step-back 3 and a fast break layup in less than 30 seconds. Clark finished with 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 three-pointers, leading the Fever to an 85-75 WNBA victory and their third straight win. With Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Sophie Cunningham adding major support, Indiana's offense was unstoppable. Fans were left saying the same thing. When Caitlin Clark starts this hot, the WNBA better watch out.
Carolina. Clark fire away and hits a three. Clark launches and hits. Pure joy.
Something is off with Stephanie White. And before we get into the most dominant 3-game stretch Caitlin Clark has put together in the entire 2026 WNBA season, we need to say that out loud because it cannot keep being ignored.
Clark thought about the three, circles around, fires away, and hits!
White benched Clark right after she hit 2 consecutive threes against Washington.
Clark, bullseye!
The Mystics immediately went on a run. White pulled Clark from a Seattle game while she was on active triple-double watch with 4 rebounds to go and the game's still competitive.
Clark from just inside the logo. Listen to this place.
And then before the Golden State game, somebody walked up to White with a microphone and asked her a completely straightforward question. How is Caitlin Clark's back? Simple, reasonable. The most obvious question a reporter could ask. And White stood there looking like someone who had just been asked to explain a crime scene.
Is she injured? I guess is a fair question. Is she injured? Or is it something other than an injury?
Her back is sore.
Vague, evasive, visibly uncomfortable. The body language of a person who either does not know or who does not want to say. And then the most suspicious detail of all. The Portland Fire game, Clark sitting out entirely with back stiffness while the official explanation remained deliberately unclear. No timeline, no specifics, nothing.
Steph, what is your reaction to getting a warning from the league as a team for the injury report involving Caitlin? Medical questions, we can defer that to the medical team. We, to my knowledge, don't have access to talk to them.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't disclose anything that's not already disclosed by our medical team, by our franchise.
Here's what makes all of it so frustrating. In the same games where White's decisions look the most questionable, Caitlin Clark is performing at a level that is rewriting the WNBA record books in real time. Not exaggerating, literally rewriting them.
Cunningham, handoff Johnson, into a triple team, out to Clark, 3 more!
On the Show Me Something podcast, Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham addressed a viral meme surrounding teammate Caitlin Clark's recent game-winning 3-pointer against the Washington Mystics. The meme led fans to believe that Cunningham and Clark intentionally ignored a play called by head coach Stephanie White. However, Cunningham clarified that the sequence was exactly what White had drawn up. The design play involved a cross screen and a down screen to get Clark the basketball. During the execution, 2 Mystics defenders mistakenly followed teammate Lexi, leaving Clark completely wide open. While Clark adjusted by stopping in the open space rather than finishing her route to the top of the key, the play functioned perfectly. Cunningham found the viral fan meme hilarious but definitively shut down subsequent rumors that she had been officially suspended for the Fever's recent victory over the Chicago Sky because of it. Finally, Cunningham reflected on the intense public scrutiny surrounding the Indiana Fever this WNBA season. She noted that the team operates under a massive microscope, emphasizing that players, especially rookies, must develop a thick skin to handle the constant attention from all fans.
The Fever have a problem. Expected to dominate, the Indiana Fever are sitting at just 5-5, and Sophie Cunningham isn't hiding from it. She says every WNBA team has Indiana circled. The pressure is massive, and frustration is building inside the locker room. But here's the twist. Cunningham believes these struggles could be exactly what Caitlin Clark and the Fever need before making a serious championship push. The world's best playmaker? Team USA coach Kara Lawson just made a huge statement about Caitlin Clark. During the Indiana Fever's win over the Atlanta Dream, Lawson called Clark one of the best playmakers in the world, not just the country. The Fever superstar backed it up with 17 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, helping Indiana secure an 83-71 Commissioner's Cup victory. Fans are now asking the same question. Has Caitlin Clark already become the best point guard in women's basketball? Swifty Shoes, superstar performance. Wearing her viral Taylor Swift-inspired Nike Kobe Eras Tour sneakers, Caitlin Clark delivered a performance straight out of a headline. The Indiana Fever star exploded for 32 points, 10 assists, and a perfect 15 for 15 from the free throw line against the Chicago Sky. Just when it looked like Indiana had the game won, Chicago stormed back and forced overtime in stunning fashion. But Clark wasn't about to let the moment slip away. She took control, energized the crowd, and helped power the Fever to a thrilling 114-106 victory. Swiftie shoes, clutch buckets, and another Caitlin Clark masterclass. The WNBA's biggest star keeps delivering. Sophie just exposed the play? After Caitlin Clark's viral game-winning three against the Washington Mystics, Sophie Cunningham had fans buzzing with a hilarious social media post. The Indiana Fever guard shared an AI locker room graphic joking that Clark and Cunningham improvised Stephanie White's play call. But when fans overreacted, Sophie fired back, "You guys read too much into things." The result? A Fever win, a Caitlin Clark clutch moment, and another viral WNBA story fans can't stop talking about. Caitlin Clark had enough! With the Indiana Fever closing out a huge win over the Connecticut Sun, Caitlin Clark delivered one final message. After hearing chatter from the Sun bench all night, the WNBA superstar appeared to shush Connecticut coach Rashid Mezian as the game slipped away. The referees immediately hit Clark with a technical foul, but after the game she didn't back down, saying it was completely worth it. Now with 4 technical fouls this season, Clark is halfway to a 1-game suspension, but Fever fans are loving her competitive fire. Was Caitlin Clark justified, or did she cross the line? Clark's triple-double dream crushed. Caitlin Clark entered Brooklyn looking to lead the Indiana Fever past the New York Liberty and started piling up assists early, but her shot just wouldn't fall. Despite finishing with 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists, Clark battled foul trouble all night as the Fever held a 12-point lead. Then came the turning point. The Liberty exploded in the fourth quarter, outscoring Indiana 29-18, while Clark was held scoreless down the stretch. The result? An 83-75 Liberty win, leaving WNBA fans stunned as Clark's near triple-double ended in heartbreak. They ignored the coach? With the game on the line, Indiana Fever stars Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham reportedly ditched coach Stephanie White's original play against the Washington Mystics. Cunningham inbounded the ball, Clark launched a deep game-winning three with just 1.2 seconds left, and the Fever stole a huge WNBA victory. Then came the shocker. Cunningham posted, "Didn't follow the plan, won anyway." WNBA fans are now debating, genius move or dangerous gamble.
They force another turnover. Clark, the quick pass, whips it right to Cunningham. 500 career assists for Caitlin Clark, the fastest to do it.
Indiana came into Thursday night at Chase Center in San Francisco, riding a 3-game winning streak and looking like the team everyone expected them to be at the start of the season. 4-2. Clark healthy, Boston healthy, Mitchell locked in. The Fever had found their rhythm and were playing their best basketball of the young season, heading into one of their toughest road tests of the year. Golden State came in as arguably the best team in the WNBA through 6 games. The Valkyries led the entire league in net rating at plus 11.3. They had the 3rd best offense and the 2nd best defense. Simultaneously, they committed the fewest turnovers and allowed the fewest points off turnovers. They made the most threes per game. They had not lost 2 games in a row all season. Chase Center was a sold-out building on a Thursday night that had been waiting for this rematch since Indiana beat them 90-82 6 days earlier. And Veronica Burton had something to prove. She had been the best player for the Valkyries in that first game. 5 block shots, 25 points, 6 rebounds, and the primary reason Golden State stayed in it until the final buzzer. Burton against Clark, Golden State against Indiana. So let's get into it. Indiana got on the board first, but Golden State took control almost immediately. Burton was at it from the very first possession, hitting free throws, getting into the lane, and blocking Clark twice in the first quarter alone. Once on a driving layup attempt, once on a cutting layup. The tone of the entire game was set right there. This was going to be a physical, contested 40 minutes. She was cooking on the offensive side as well, knocking down some free throws to come back, with a running layup and 1 off a Charles assist, and then bury a 3 off a Zandalasini assist to push the lead to 7 at 14-7. Golden State hit a 3 and a layup in the closing minutes, and the Valkyries led 21-14 after 1. Indiana competed hard, but Golden State simply made more plays when it mattered. Clark opened the second quarter by drawing 3 more free throws, and suddenly Indiana was right back in it. Cunningham hit a 3 off a Billings assist. Clark stole the ball and set up Johnson for a layup. Clark then found Cunningham for another running layup to cut it to 5. A 12-2 run in the blink of an eye, and the momentum had completely shifted. And right in the middle of that run, Clark caught the ball on the right wing.
Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham has dispelled rumors that she and Caitlin Clark deliberately ignored head coach Stephanie White's play calling during Monday's thrilling 78-76 victory over the Washington Mystics. The speculation began when Clark sank a game-winning three-pointer off an assist from Cunningham with just 1 second remaining. Following the win, Cunningham posted a humorous edited photo on Instagram depicting herself and Clark admitting to improvising the final play, captioned, "Didn't follow the plan, won anyway." While many fans found the meme funny, others viewed it as a subtle jab at White, whose relationship with Clark has recently faced intense media scrutiny. In response to the backlash, Cunningham took to X, urging fans not to overthink the joke and claiming they executed White's exact play perfectly. However, Fever teammate Lexi Hull later revealed in a radio interview that the actual plan was to draw a foul. Hull explained that Clark simply made a brilliant read and improvised the shot. Unbothered by the deviation, head coach White highly praised Clark's generational talent and her incredible ability to deliver in clutch moments.
This $60 dress broke the internet. Sophie Cunningham had WNBA fans buzzing before Fever versus Liberty, not with a highlight play, but with a stunning $59 Zara dress that looked straight off a luxury runway. As she walked into Barclays Center, social media exploded with reactions, calling her glamorous, sunshine, and even a future Victoria's Secret model. The Fever fell 83-75 to the Liberty, but online, Sophie Cunningham absolutely stole the show. She stole the spotlight. Before the Indiana Fever even hit the court, Sophie Cunningham had WNBA fans buzzing with a stunning all-white tunnel fit that instantly went viral. But the real story came after tip-off. Cunningham caught fire off the bench, drilling 3 clutch threes and scoring 11 points as Caitlin Clark and the Fever rolled past the Connecticut Sun 85-75. Fans loved the fashion, but they loved the win even more. Time just made it official. Caitlin Clark's influence is now impossible to ignore. The Indiana Fever superstar was named to Time's 100 Most Influential People in Sports for 2026, joining the biggest names in athletics. Time praised Clark for bringing unprecedented attention to women's basketball through her electrifying style, deep threes, and game-changing impact on the WNBA. From breaking records to selling out arenas, Clark isn't just shaping the league, she's changing the future of sports, and fans are celebrating another massive milestone in her historic rise.
The Atlanta Dream overcame an early 13-point deficit to defeat the Toronto Tempo 102-77, driven by a dominant 15-point, 17-rebound performance from Angel Reese, alongside a combined 50 points from Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard. The game turned highly physical in the third quarter when Tempo forward Isabel Harrison tackled Reese to the ground under the basket. The hard hit triggered a heated confrontation between both teams and left an emotional Reese visibly shaken. After an official review, referees upgraded the initial ruling to a flagrant 2 foul and ejected Harrison from the game. The incident was especially surprising given that Harrison and Reese were teammates during Reese's 2024 rookie season. Consequently, Harrison faces an automatic $1,000 fine under WNBA rules, which penalize players $500 per flagrant point. The flagrant 2 ejection assigns her 2 flagrant points, putting her just 2 points away from an automatic 1-game suspension. Tensions remain high heading into their next regular season matchup, as the Dream and Tempo are scheduled to face off again soon on June 22nd.
Caitlin Clark is on notice. Caitlin Clark dropped 25 points, 5 steals, and led the Indiana Fever to another huge win. But that's not why everyone's talking. The WNBA superstar picked up her 4th technical foul of the season and blasted one call as ridiculous after the game. Now Clark is halfway to the league's suspension limit. With the Fever chasing a deep playoff run, every game matters. Can Caitlin Clark stay fiery without crossing the line? Fans are divided.
Caitlin Clark, all right? The Indiana Fever star was named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year earlier this week, and she took time to acknowledge that race played a role in her success this year. Here's a passage from the article in Times Magazine. Quote, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing," end quote.
One interview, one sentence, and suddenly the entire WNBA feels like it's sitting on a ticking bomb nobody bothered to mention. Stephen A. Smith didn't just respond to Angel McCoughtry's Caitlin Clark comments. He went full courtroom, full chaos, no filter. But what exactly did she say that flipped the switch so hard it sent ESPN into overdrive? And why is everyone suddenly acting like one quote might have rewritten the league's entire power structure?
Does Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have any love or like for one another at all?
Respect. Yeah, they have respect.
That ain't what I asked. I know what the difference. I think I know the difference. You understand? Just like when you was at Upfronts, Eminem, telling folks, I know how to read. You understand? Say, I know you understand.
Get that in the house.
No. It's cool. It's all in fun. It's all in fun. It's all in love. But what I'm saying is that you know the difference. I did not say respect. I said love or like. They have it?
I think we saw a glimpse.
So before we move on, smash that like button and subscribe, because you know you don't want to miss out on this one. The strangest thing about the Caitlin Clark situation is that every single time people think the drama has cooled off, somebody inside the basketball world somehow finds a flamethrower and aims it directly at the league's own front office.
When you go back to the impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese, I remember funny clips on the internet about two different Americas based on the music that was being played in the Iowa locker room versus the LSU locker room. And I think at the heart of it is an issue with being able to appreciate and celebrate the humanity and the athletic accomplishments of both of these women, right? I do not think that all Indiana fans or all Caitlin Clark fans represent any one particular belief.
At this point, the WNBA is starting to feel less like a sports league and more like a reality show where everybody forgot the cameras were still rolling.
This outfit broke the internet. Before Fever vs. Dream, Sophie Cunningham's swimsuit-inspired WNBA pregame outfit instantly went viral, turning the arena into a fashion spotlight. As she walked in with bold confidence, fans and social media exploded over her edgy look and rising star power. The reactions poured in, calling her the league's ultimate style icon, proving she's making headlines far beyond the basketball court.
Sophie Cunningham sank 3 crucial three-pointers in the final 2 minutes of play to lift the Indiana Fever past the Connecticut Sun, 85-75, securing the team's first 3-game winning streak of the month. Despite letting an 11-point lead slip as the Sun briefly pulled ahead in the fourth quarter, Indiana rallied to close the game on a decisive 21-10 run. Caitlin Clark led the Fever with a team-high 25 points, including 5 three-pointers. However, her performance involved late-game officiating tension. She received a technical foul in the final seconds and a separate delay of game team technical after accidentally kicking a loose ball down the court, a call she later criticized as ridiculous. Alongside Clark scoring, Kelsey Mitchell contributed 15 first-half points, and Aaliyah Boston achieved a major milestone by reaching 2,000 career points. The struggling Sun, dropping to a 2-13 record, were led by Olivia Nelson-Odota's 12 points off the bench. Fever head coach Stephanie White praised her squad's resilience, noting their ability to stay positive and lock in defensively during the critical closing minutes. The Indiana Fever will be without key bench player Sophie Cunningham for Thursday's game against the Chicago Sky due to a right elbow injury. Head coach Stephanie White explained that Cunningham's elbow has been sore for some time, and the team is prioritizing her long-term health by exercising extreme caution. This will be the first game Cunningham misses this season, following a 2025 campaign that was cut short by a season-ending MCL tear in her right knee. In contrast, star guard Caitlin Clark, previously listed as probable with a back issue, has been upgraded to available and is expected to play. The Fever are coming off a thrilling 78